Fujian, where General Secretary Xi Jinping worked for 17.5 years, is a nurturing place for Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. Here he led the local people in a great endeavor to eradicate poverty. Later, at the 18th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core laid out the basic strategy of targeted poverty alleviation and launched a decisive battle against poverty across the board. Under the leadership of the CPC, the Chinese people have set out on an epic journey toward a better life. Nestled between the coast and mountains in northeastern Fujian, Ningde was once identified as one of China's 18 contiguous poor areas. It was a remote, impoverished area dotted with islands, and home to a former revolutionary base and a large population of ethnic minorities. With 6 out of 9 counties being impoverished, it was the poorest locality in Fujian. In face of such poverty, Xi Jinping, then secretary of the CPC Ningde Prefecture Committee, placing poverty eradication on top of his agenda, mobilized human financial and material resources for poverty alleviation. He articulated important philosophies such as the weak hatchling can be the first to take flight, and constant dripping wears away a stone. He also introduced such working institutions as the 4 approaches to the grassroots. This was instrumental to speeding up the historic and decisive battle against poverty through development in eastern Fujian. Xiadang Township of Shoning County used to lack access to roads, running water, and electricity. The local government had little in its coffers and no office. Xi Jinping trekked all the way to Xiadang 3 times. Those trips were so arduous that he later recalled it as a place of extraordinary hardship, extraordinary memories. More than 30 years on, thanks to his consistent care and support, Xiadang now boasts road links, beautiful villages, and better-off people, transformed from a far-flung hamlet nicknamed Siberia of Eastern Fujian into a new magnet for the CPC heritage tourism. To improve the living conditions for boat dwellers, Xi Jinping launched a relocation project, the first of its kind in China, blazing a new trail of poverty alleviation. From coastal areas to mountainous regions, the campaign to relocate impoverished people from inhospitable places and rebuild homes went on for over 20 years. Across Fujian, the relocation of over 7,300 natural villages has enabled 1.72 million people to escape adverse living conditions. As General Secretary Xi Jinping pointed out, development of industries and businesses is the most direct and most effective solution to poverty, and a fundamental way to sustain poverty escapes by creating jobs. Today, industries and businesses with local features prevent poverty from getting a foothold in Ningde. In Fuding, one of the places of origin for Chinese white tea, cooperatives and business consortia have built on local strengths to create a tea industry worth over 10 billion yuan. In the offshore areas of Xiapu County, cage aquaculture is turning the sea into farms. Products like kelp, seaweed, large yellow croaker, and abalone have generated a value of over 10 billion yuan. In Gutian County, the edible mushroom industry has an output of over 10 billion yuan and benefits over 70% of the population. General Secretary Xi has always stressed that grassroots party structures in rural areas must be strengthened in order to play a greater role in the decisive battle against poverty. During his time in Fujian, General Secretary Xi Jinping strongly advocated sending party members and officials to the front line of rural revitalization and poverty alleviation. To date, more than 50,000 party members and officials in the province have responded to the call. With a solid foundation laid by General Secretary Xi, Ningde, an erstwhile weak hatchling, now thrives with booming industries, better lives, and fastest growth rate in the province. With a combined annual throughput of nearly 40 million tons, the deep water ports along the coastline from Sanduao to Saichi manifest clearly Ningde's strength and aspiration to thrive by the sea. The stainless steel industrial cluster worth 100 billion yuan is the cornerstone of Ningde's rise. CATL, a Ningde-based battery supplier for new energy vehicles, has become the world's largest lithium-ion battery producer. Ningde's experience provides a boost for all of Fujian in winning the battle against poverty and realizing moderate prosperity in all respects. By the end of 2019, the 1.1 million registered poor people and 2,201 poor villages had all been lifted out of poverty. As the decisive battle against poverty is being won, Fujian shifts its focus to rural revitalization. In 2019, Fujian's GDP grew by 7.6% to more than 4 trillion yuan, making it one of the fastest growing and most competitive regions in China. Carrying forward the legacy of the Maritime Silk Road, Fujian is on the course of materializing the new blueprint personally outlined by General Secretary Xi Jinping, featuring dynamic mechanisms, upgraded industries, better off lives, and beautiful environment. The transformation of Ningde and the development of Fujian Province give expression to the CPC's governance philosophy of putting people first, and its founding mission of seeking happiness for the people and rejuvenation for the nation. This is a crystallization of General Secretary Xi Jinping's utmost commitment to poverty eradication in Fujian. In the new era of socialism with Chinese characteristics, more than 10 million Chinese escape poverty every year, and Chinese experience and wisdom contribute to global poverty reduction. Eradicating poverty, securing a decent and dignified life for all, and creating a land of dreams fulfilled. With these in mind, the CPC undertakes to spare no effort to build a community with a shared future for mankind.